I got a smile on my face, I got four walls around me. I got the sun in the sky, all the water surrounds me. Oh, hey, oh, yeah, I win now, but sometimes I lose. I've been battered, but I never bruised. It's not so bad. And I say, hey, 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 it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just gotta say it's all right. It's all right. Janie sings on the corner, what keeps her from dying? Yeah, let them say what they want, she won't stop trying. Oh, hey, oh, she might stumble if they push her around. She might fall, but she'll never lie down. It's not so bad. And I say, hey, 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 it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just gotta say it's all right. It's all right. In this beautiful life, there's always some sorrow. It's a double-edged knife, but there's always tomorrow. Oh, hey, oh. It's up to you now if you sink or swim. Just keep the faith and your ship will come in. It's not so bad. And I say, hey, 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 it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just gotta say it's all right. Hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just gotta say it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I got a smile on my face. I got four walls around me.
All right, good morning. How is everyone this morning?
Great.
Fantastic, fantastic. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. And it's beautiful, beautiful Sunday, July 8th. It is a great, great day. And yet, just like every day, it's an ordinary day, because every day is a great day, because we are alive in it. We've got a couple of things to tell you about. Oh, by the way, my name is Jonathan Zenz. I'm the spiritual director here at the Center for Spiritual Living, just in case you don't know who I am. But a couple of announcements I want to make sure everybody knows about. We are still collecting pennies, so if you have any jars of pennies that you would like to, be done with, we're collecting them on behalf of the government so that we can give them back and they can melt them all down. But we are also doing it as a fundraiser, so whatever we collect will then go into our bank account. We will be doing a contest at the probably in August, and whoever guesses how much we raised, the closest without going over, just like the Price is Right, will be gifted a full scholarship to the entire Science of Mind 100 series, which is a nearly $600 value. So once I should get some ballots made up for that, shouldn't I? Hey, Deja, can we get some ballots made up for that? So that we can start doing some guessing around that. But we are collecting pennies still, so if you have any jars of pennies laying around, please bring them in, dump them into our jar, which is out in the lobby. We are continuing self-mastery class. We have 2 more classes in self-mastery, and then we will have all mastered the selves. That class has been ongoing for the last 6 weeks, and we continue on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. It's just what caught me off guard for that moment was that it still says July 4th, which then, of course, being American, I think, wow, I actually taught class on a holiday for me, But yeah, we're continuing self-mastery class, and we are basing the self-mastery on the book, The Biology of Belief, by Bruce Lipton, which is a fantastic, fantastic book. And it's been a pretty intense and wonderful class. I mean, it's been really, really, really great. So thank you to everyone who has been showing up, and 2 more classes, and then we've got it all figured out, right? Yeah. We are still looking for additional volunteers to help out with the youth program downstairs, and also for anyone who wants to help out with technical positions. We love to have volunteers, and those are the 2 areas where we are in most need at the moment. So if you are interested in volunteering as a youth mentor or in a technical capacity, please have a chat with me, and we'll work that all out. If you are a youth mentor, it does mean you have to go through a police check, so just as a fair warning, that will be required. Also, we do have a spiritual mind treatment request box in the front, and if you have something in your experience, in your life experience, that is troubling you or is a challenge for you, write it out on this piece of paper that is a spiritual mind treatment request form. For those of you who are here for the first time today, spiritual mind treatment is our form of affirmative prayer, and through spiritual mind treatment, we believe that we change the world because our word spoken is done. When we treat, we speak our word. And that's the way it works. So if you are interested in having your life change, then write out a request on that form, and you can put it into the box, and one of our fantastic practitioners here will do that work on your behalf. It did occur to me I should introduce you, but I'm going to introduce you later. So you'll meet all the practitioners in just a few minutes. Also, we also are very involved in expanding our presence online, and are very interested in getting people to talk about us on Facebook and on Twitter, and checking out our videos on YouTube. We also live stream our services every Sunday. So we're really expanding into that realm, and it's very exciting. So please check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and this is going to put some people into a tizzy, because I am of the belief that if you are caught by something that strikes you right in the moment and you have your smartphone out, this is making you crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Because I'm of the mind that if it strikes you in the moment, tweet about it right in that moment, and let people know where you heard the information right here at the Center for Spiritual Living. So welcome to the center again. Who's here for the first time? Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us and bringing your consciousness to this place, to this room, where we celebrate one thing. We celebrate that there is only one thing going on, and that is God. Now, I use the G word. A lot of people get weird around the G word. I say God, but I understand God to mean a divine energy. I don't mean something outside of myself. I don't mean some man sitting up in the sky. I understand God to be this pervasive energy that is the creation of the universe. The universe was created by this energy, and we are all part of that. Every single one of us is a part of that. So, given that, it just makes sense that when I say we are God, we are that energy, then we can do fantastic, creative, incredible things in our lives, because that's a place of power. And that's what I celebrate here every Sunday. And so we come together to celebrate this as a community, and it is such a joy and pleasure to have you here joining us in this celebration. One of the ways that we do this is by reading our Declaration of Principles, which is on the inside of the front page of our songbooks. So if you would turn to that, and let's share these words together. And as we read these together, I will remind everyone that we start each statement with, I believe. And in this philosophy, what we say is, it is done unto you as you believe. So if there's something that strikes you as being true, go with it. If there's something that strikes you as being untrue, question it. Take a look at what you believe and really understand what you believe, because what you believe is what is creating your life. So let's read these words together. I believe that the spiritual and material universe are one. I believe that whether I call it God, spirit, energy, or universal consciousness, every person, place, and thing emanates from this one creative source. I believe that spirit is an infinite, loving intelligence operating in and through all life, never separate from anyone or anything. I believe in cause and effect. I believe that it is done unto me as I believe, and as I think, so I become. I live this now, and I rejoice in it. And so it is. And so it is. So there are some very special people who have really taken this to heart in their lives. And, sorry, this microphone is making me a little crazy today. Just doesn't feel quite right. But I'll trust it. I'm going to trust it from here on out. If you could go ahead and start playing, Patrick. So we have, I'm going to honor some people who have stepped up in this philosophy and have really taken the time to deepen their study of this philosophy. And I'm a firm believer, as many of you know, in taking class. You can come here and feel great on a Sunday, and I honor everyone who comes here and feels great on a Sunday. Sunday makes me feel great. But where I really learned how to embody this principle was by taking class. And we have 3 people that I'm going to honor today who, I'm being mouthed words. I don't know quite what they mean, but but I'm just going to go with it. So one of the things that we do is we do have a larger organization. We have an international organization. This organization offers certification in classwork. There are different levels of classwork. There's the 100 level, the 200 level, and the 300 level. When you're in the 300 level, this means you have really taken it to heart that you want to practice this philosophy in your life, and you want to help others practice this philosophy in their lives. It's what we call practitioner studies. We have 3 people who have received their Science of Mind 300 certificates, and I have them to present today, and they are currently in their internship as well, learning how to become licensed practitioners of this philosophy. So I'm going to invite to the stage and present them with their certificates today, one at a time. Mary Ellen Cassie. Margaret Ann Snyder, please stay up here. Helen Vallot. Now the other person that I'm going to honor, because I've never gotten to actually honor her, I see the look in your eyes, from this stage in the capacity as an instructor, is I'm going to welcome up to the stage Helen Dino Brega, who is also our practitioner on duty today. And I'm stepping down here for a moment because I want us all to take in these 4 incredible women. These 4 women have taken it upon themselves to live a deeper experience and live a deeper life. And so I honor the choices that you have made, and I honor what you bring to this center, and I honor what you bring to this world, and I say thank you. Namaste. Makes me think about when I got my 300 certificate. So, I'm going to invite Lena to do our reading today, and I don't know what you're bringing, because it's a big mystery. But I love mystery. So, please welcome Lena DeSanto to the microphone.
Good morning, everyone. Is it working? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. I've chosen a reading from Emmett Fox this morning called The Golden Gate. God is love, and he that dwelleth in love dwelleth in God and in him. Love is by far the most important thing of all. It is the golden gate of paradise. Pray for the understanding of love and meditate upon it daily. It casts out fear. It is the fulfilling of the law. It covers a multitude of sins. Love is absolutely invincible. There is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer, no disease that enough love will not heal, no door that enough love will not open, no gulf that enough love will not bridge, no wall that enough love will not throw down, no sin that enough love will not redeem. It makes no difference how deeply seated may be the trouble, how hopeless the outlook, how muddled the tangle, how great the mistake. A sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. If only you could love enough, you would be the happiest and most powerful being in the universe. And I leave with you today one of my favorite messages that I choose regularly that's called Live for Love. I enjoy each moment of my life and put love in everything I do. Love gives life to all things. I open my heart to this great power. I do everything in gentleness and kindness. Each thought is made of light. I love God, I love all blessings, and I love myself. Henceforth, I live to manifest love and light for each soul everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So in that understanding, I'm going to invite you to take a look at number 17 in your songbooks as we share together our congregational chant today, which is, There is Only Love. Are you sensing the theme here today? And so as we move into this time, as we move into this expression of spirit through music, I invite you to take a breath, to come to a deeper understanding of what love means to you. And I'm going to talk a lot more about this when I yammer on for about 35 minutes shortly. But love is the only energy. Love is the only energy. And so this is what I choose to embody in every experience in my life. Every face I see, I look at with love. And I see only love.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
And so right here in this moment, I recognize that love, this one energy, is all that exists. It is the very creative source of the universe, and it is an infinite intelligence that is operating through each and every person here. And I know that this is the very basis on which we were all created. And this is the way we live our lives, is as a perfect embodiment of this energy. And so I trust and know that this energy is unfolding easily and effortlessly in the lives of every single person here. I trust this to the core of my being, and I simply allow this to be the truth with a grateful heart. I give over to it right here with a perfect breath. I let this be so, and together we say, and so it is.
When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
And so now Helen Dino Braga will stand and give us a spiritual mind treatment.
So as we relax into this moment together, I speak these words for everyone here when I say, hello, old friends. Hello, new friends. Hello, inner friend. In this being of love and light, let's all be God for each other. I welcome you. I know that you want to love me, and I want to love you. So let's let down our guard, open up to a beautiful connection together, a beautiful intention for this wonderful, wonderful service. And in this loving community, a welcoming, a unity, a power greater than we have ever experienced before. In the deepest of gratitude to be in this beloved space, I release these words in confidence, knowing that this philosophy, this higher truth, is always done unto me as I believe. I let it go, I let it be so, and together we say, and
So it is. Thank you very much for that. So again, we have fantastic musicians that are part of our congregation, and I am so blessed that we have Pierre, who is an incredible songwriter, and he brings his music so frequently. I'm going to move this so you can all watch him while he sings. He brings his music so frequently to expand the consciousness of every single person in this center, and I love what he does, and I love what he brings. And so he's going to share with you a song, which I'll talk about briefly. Are you going to cry? Okay. You got to just sing through the tears. Just sing through the tears. You went to theater school, you know, sing through the tears. It's a fantastic song, and I'm going to speak to it just a little bit, and I'm going to sing backup on it as well. So.
Wow. This is called Life in My Years, not Lice in My Ears. Just so you know. Life is so busy, filling in the time. Are we passengers or piloting our own minds? Coming and going, are we truly knowing that you and I and all are intertwined? The road is long in time. life in my ears, life in my ears, with life in my ears, life in my ears, with no regret. Saw things I won't forget. I felt the summer breeze and swam in many seas and raised a child from birth. I showed her what life is worth, and I have love, so I check all the above. Life in my life in my Thank you for that. As he was singing the song today, I started thinking about the theme of today, which obviously is love. And if you get our Friday newsletter, the title of today's talk is "What's Love Got to Do with It?" I think I did at one point say, maybe we should do the Tina Turner song. It's not too late. Trust me, it's too late.
I left the gold sequence at home.
What's love got to do with it? And as he was playing, and as music fills my soul. I come from a musical background, and I love music. Actually, I come from a musical theater background, and I love music. But the very vibration, the very energy of music is so empowering to me. And that, to me, is love. That energy, when I talk about there's only one energy, music is a really, really great expression of that energy in form. And it fills my soul. I feel music to the core of my being, and so it really it was so at the forefront of my mind. So thank you so much for what you offer to this center, because music is very important to me in this center. So over the last week, I've had a question that has repeated itself quite a bit in my experience as I go out, and I met a lot of people last week at the Pride celebration, and I met a lot of people last week at the Pride celebration, and the question that seems to repeat itself quite a bit is, so what do you teach? What do you teach? And to try and encapsulate in, a quick blurb what I spent 6 years studying is a little bit of a daunting task. But I say it every week. We teach two things. We teach two things within this philosophy. We teach that God is all there is, and every one of us is a perfect expression of that divine energy. We put the phrase on that, the divinity of man and woman, because I don't want to be sexist, right? But the divinity of humanity, the divinity of all people, is one of the things we teach. The second thing that we teach is that the universe operates based on karma, based on the law of cause and effect. For everything that is happening in your experience, there is some cause to that experience. Now, we believe in this philosophy that that cause exists in mind first and foremost. And ultimately, that's the only place that cause exists, is in mind. And so if you change your mind, you change the way your experience happens. That's what we teach. And I did. I spent 6 years studying those two things. So when I go out and I meet people, you know, and I've only been in Toronto for 6 months. Actually, on Tuesday it will be 6 months exactly, because it was January 10th that I drove up to my new apartment, which was all ready for me, and I had Tanis and Helen yelling out the window, "You're early, you're not supposed to be here, we're not finished cleaning the floors." Sorry. I just spent 3 days driving across the country, and I'm getting out of the car now. But because I'm new and I'm meeting a lot of new people, you know, in small talk it always comes up. So what do you do? And you know what's really interesting is I still have that catch of, oh gosh, I have to tell them I'm a minister. Because of all of the baggage that I have associated with ministry in my life, that I'm still carrying that around. So here's something really interesting. Got a lot of new people here today, and now I'm the minister up here saying I've still got a lot of baggage around being a minister. Yeah, welcome. Yeah. But I'll tell you why the baggage is there, and that I do actively work against it. I do actively work against it, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's my catchphrase, see? Within, oh, and if it's a surprise to any of you who are here new for the first time, I am gay, so I do talk about that. So one of the things is that in the gay community, there tends to be a rejection of what is perceived as religion. Mostly because many religions seem to, you know, not want gay people around. They don't want gay people to exist, and it's really interesting that this whole, I'm going to get off track, so I need to stop and I need to keep myself focused, because I could talk for days about things that are happening in politics, and that's not my job up here. But as a gay minister, there I've got two things that seem to be in conflict with each other within different communities. Now, within this philosophy, within this community, please, we believe that the expression of humanity in all forms is perfect. We believe that being gay is more than okay. That there is a very vibrant energy that is expressing itself by means of each and every one of us, and how that expresses is of little consequence to me. So I don't stand in judgment of anybody else, and I ask that other people don't then stand in judgment of me. It seems fair, right? Well, I was about to say, well, the world isn't fair. And in many ways, the world is not fair. What makes the world fair is how you approach life. So that's what today is about. What's love got to do with it? Approach life with love. Approach life with love, no matter what. No matter what. The other thing that's very interesting is that I get caught up, not just in the gay community, but when I'm talking to people and saying I'm a minister, it's very interesting. People don't want to talk about their spiritual path. So they hear me say I'm a minister, and this is the predominant thing in my life, obviously, but they don't want to talk about God. They don't want to talk about religion. They don't want to talk about their spiritual nature because they feel it's too personal. Okay, the kids need to cover their ears for a moment. Because you know one thing that people talk about really quickly that I would say is too personal? They talk about their sex lives. And for me, I'm sorry, I don't need to hear it. I really don't. Talk to me about God. Talk to me about God. What you do is your business. I don't care. And I don't care to hear it. So it's just interesting the way that we weight different things and the way that we have issues with being personal about certain areas of our lives, which we should be totally open and upfront about. Be proud of being spiritual. Be proud of having a connection with something greater than yourself, which is expressing through yourself. I take great pride in that. Then the other thing that happens when I tell people I'm a minister is they, of course, ask, well, what denomination? Which then I have to explain, well, we're not a Christian philosophy, specifically. We are a trans-denominational philosophy. We incorporate teachings from many religions. We talk about many religions. We talk about many ideas. Ultimately, if you look back, it is a philosophy. We are now, then I had to read this thing that Ernest Holmes wrote about religion. And so that's going to be part of the talk today, too. This may be a really long one today. I'm realizing in this moment. But we are a philosophy in that we teach people how to think, as opposed to religion, which tends to teach people what to think. We encourage people to think and to come up with new ideas and open themselves up to a deeper embodiment of something that is moving through them, to understand that we are all one, that this very energy is who and what God is. And so, who am I within this? I would like to think that I'm not the kind of minister that steps in and says, I have to convince you that I'm right. Because I'm faced with that as well. I was actually out on Friday night, and I was sitting there, I was at a bar. Yes, ministers go to bars.
The good ones.
And I was sitting there, and I had met some new people, and this one person was there. He attends MCC, and he was having this whole conversation with me about his upbringing, and that he was raised in the United Faith, and explaining the whole philosophy to me. As I just sat there and listened, and I kept thinking, yeah, you would get along really well with our center. You would really get it. But he worked really hard to convince me that he was right without ever hearing what I had to say on the matter and not understanding that I basically teach what he was telling me. It was really interesting. It's a very interesting phenomenon when you tell people that you're involved in a spiritual profession. And, by the way, every single person in this world on some level is involved in a spiritual profession. If you profess to be spiritual, then you are involved in a spiritual profession. And I'm talking about people who recognize themselves as atheists as well. They may not believe in a God out there, but they believe in something. And whether it's totally within, which is what we teach, that God comes from within, the expression of God is an inside job, they believe in something beyond the physical, something that goes to the spiritual. I believe that. So frequently in conversation, what I will talk about is what I teach, what we teach within this philosophy. And it ultimately equals what I believe to be true. This is how my life unfolds, based on my belief system, based on my belief structure. That's how my life unfolds. I believe that this is how everybody's life unfolds, whether you are aware of it or not. And I have to leave room for each and every individual to discover God on their own, whatever that means to them. I was not brought up in a religion. I've talked about that before. I was not brought up in a religion, so it was fairly easy for me to make that leap of saying God is something that is a pervasive energy rather than something that comes from out there that is looking down on us or passing judgment on us. So I ask you today, first of all, to understand and really take a look at what is your concept of God. Bring to mind what your concept of God is. Just bring it to mind. And then I'm going to ask you this question. How can you possibly believe that? How can you possibly believe that? Which sounds like an odd question, doesn't it? What is it that gives you proof that your concept of God, first of all, exists and or is the right concept of God? Feelings. Brilliant. Feelings. What do you think about God? So there are a couple ways of thinking about God, and I've already touched on one of them. One of them is thinking about God outside of yourself. Thinking about God as something that is beyond you, that you are separate from, which is an interesting thing because that's what many religions teach. This is not what we teach. But they teach that God is something outside of yourself, and when you pray, and I'm going to talk about prayer a little bit today, when you pray, what happens to the prayer when you pray if there's a God outside of yourself? It has to get somewhere. Your prayer has to reach God to be answered. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. And the reason it doesn't make sense to me is because that leaves room for something to go wrong. If your prayer has to get somewhere, then it is very possible your prayer will never reach that destination, so your prayer will never be answered. So then the other concept of God, which is what we teach, is that God is something within, that we are in unity with the divine. We are in unity with the creative source of all things. What's really great about that is your prayer doesn't need to go anywhere. Your prayer is the embodiment of the idea. And so when you pray as this divine energy, and your prayer has the answer within it. And so it can do nothing but express in your experience. One of the things, and of course it's now coming to mind, I didn't write this down. One of the things that is asked about in the book, The Science of Mind, is why does God answer some prayers and not others? And I could look up the quote, but it's a pretty big book for me to look up a quote real quick. I know it's in the first 25 pages. Some prayers are answered and others are not based on your level of embodiment of the divine. That's the answer. The degree to which you embody the energy of the prayer is the degree to which it will manifest or demonstrate or show up in your experience. Ernest Holmes does write, see, I'm back to the page, the recognition that the Spirit thinks through our thought, now listen to this, the recognition that Spirit thinks through our thought and expresses itself through our act must necessarily create an intimacy which makes divine communion more real and more beneficial than would any concept based on the thought of God as separate from our lives. Spirit thinking through our thought creates intimacy with the divine. So when I talk about God being personal, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an intimacy with the divine Spirit, with the creative source, with the creative flow. And then it makes me think, what's love got to do with it? Everything. The creative spark, the creative energy, the creative flow is love. That's what love is. Love is intimacy. And when I say intimacy, I'm talking about into me, see. Into me, see. Come to a deeper understanding and an embodiment of the idea that when you look within, the answers are revealed. Into me, see. This is love. Now, you may also have heard people say, God is love. There's a great Bible quote, right? God is love. Okay, so I really, really struggle with bringing this up because, okay, so I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there because it's coming to mind. And when Spirit says, I let Spirit work through me. Because that is my into me, see? the expression of this divine. So you see people at protests holding up signs, John 3:16, John 3:16, right? And I've talked about this briefly in the past, that passage from the Bible, which is, I see it. And the question I have is, should I talk about the Bible with a whole bunch of new people here who may not really want to hear about the Bible? That's because people have a real issue with the Bible, and a lot of people come to this philosophy because of their rejection of the Bible. So there's the whole explanation about why I hesitated. Boy, I'm on fire today. John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son so that blah, blah, blah." And it does say blah, 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 right? And there's a misunderstanding of that, I believe. If you really understand that, basically what that phrase from the Bible is saying is there is a creative energy of the universe. It expressed itself by means of love, and love is the creative factor. I remember the rest of it. So he who believeth in him shall have eternal life, basically. I'm not a Bible scholar, so you'll have to forgive me for not coming up with a quote of any translation right off the top of my head. But the creative energy of the universe, a deeper understanding and embodiment of the creative energy of the universe expresses as love. And when you understand this creative energy, then you understand your infinite nature with the divine. It's not that you achieve eternal life through the divine. It's that you understand that your life is eternal through the divine. Because there is only God. There is only that energy. There is only love. And when you embody love, which is an energy that can never be destroyed, and it is an infinite energy, well, here, if it can never be destroyed, and it's an infinite energy, and it's who and what we are, then we are infinite. For we are the creative source and the creative force behind our experience. Now, this philosophy, we talk about this plane of action, right? Because then people will say, well, so what happens when you die? Well, when you die, what we recognize as death is simply a transition into the next experience of being, but beingness is eternal. And so, you are eternal. When you leave this plane of action, you go to the next thing. And when you leave that plane of action, you go to the next thing. Now, will I claim to know what those next things are? No. Maybe reincarnation exists and we come back to this plane of action for a period of time. I don't know. I'd like to think not. I'd like to think that I expand beyond my narrow-minded idea of myself. The truth is, within this life, that's what I'm trying to say, within this life, I have a very narrow idea of myself. I do not comprehend the allness or the infinity that I actually am a part of. I try to, but I can only understand it through very narrow parameters because that's the way my mind works right now. But what I do is I step back into love. I step back into that energy. I step back. I meditate. I use spiritual practice to help me align myself with that deeper idea. And that's where feeling happens. I may not be able to intellectualize my infinity with the divine, but I can certainly feel it. And the way I feel it is via love. Ernest Holmes writes, love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. It must be felt. Love must be felt. And the truth is, you do feel it. You do feel it, no matter what. Here's my question to you then. How aware are you of the feeling? In any given moment, how aware are you of this irresistible sweep of love that is occurring through your experience? And the awareness of the feeling then comes down to practicality. What do you spend your time focusing on? What you spend your time focusing on is what shows up in your life. And it shows up because love, the creative force behind all things, brings it to you. Because that's what love is. Love is the givingness of spirit by means of creation. And here's the other thing about love. Love will give you whatever you think into it. So if you are thinking thoughts of poverty, love will gladly hand that over to you. If you're thinking thoughts of limitation, love will gladly hand that over to you. If you are thinking thoughts of abundance, love will gladly hand that over to you. Now, how does that happen? Well, love points the way. The law makes the way possible. So you remember I talked earlier that we teach two things, the divinity of man and the law of cause and effect. So the divinity of man is the deeper understanding and the embodiment of the idea that love is all there is. The law of cause and effect is how it works. The law is completely impersonal. The law does not care. The law simply does. The law simply says yes to whatever you say. It just says yes. So I started downstairs with a spiritual mind treatment. Again, for those of you who are new, that is our form of affirmative prayer. This is what we teach, that when I speak my word with a deep embodiment and feeling of love behind it, the law says yes, it is done. It is a done deal. And so when I stand downstairs and I treat for this service, understanding that this service unfolds perfectly easily and effortlessly from a place of love and a place of divine inspiration, the law says yes. And then I step out of the way and I simply let it happen. Love and law. That's it. That's what we teach. Love and law. Ernest Holmes. And for those of you, I keep quoting Ernest Holmes and it occurs to me there are people who will have no idea who Ernest Holmes is. Ernest Holmes is the founder of this philosophy. He is the one who wrote The Science of Mind and Spirit. And he was a very wise man, but I just want to make sure what is also clear is that we do not deify him. We are not a cult that says he is the one who has all the answers. No, he synthesized many answers from many sources, and we continue to do that by expanding our awareness at all times and expanding into other ideas. We tend to go to him a lot because, like I say, he was a very wise man. Ernest Holmes wrote, "The person whose mind is filled with spiritual awareness, love, will speak a more powerful word than the one who rests solely on the law of cause and effect." So I teach there are two things, the law, love and law. You can intellectualize this philosophy, and a lot of people do. You can over-intellectualize this philosophy. The conviction with which you approach the law of cause and effect, the feeling behind your mental work, is the fuel which unfolds as your experience. It's another thing we call belief. If you think just, I'm going to use the word, willy-nilly, speaking some nice phrases, and thinking the law of cause and effect is going to do its thing, that's lovely, but it will do nothing except to the degree that you embody it. So today, I'm inviting each and every person here to more firmly and deeply understand the creative force that is bursting from them. That creative force is love. Do you feel it? Can you feel it? Do you feel the energy of love coursing through you at all times? And then there's the concept of being in love. Being in love. How many of you have ever been in love or are currently in love? Wow, that's fewer hands than I expected. So I'm going to ask it again. How many of you have ever been in love? That's better. Now, normally when I talk about love, I separate romantic love from this entire conversation. But you know what? Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about romantic love with the understanding of this philosophy, because they're actually not so different. They're actually not so different. The concept of romantic love and love as the creative energy. Love is an energy. Now, when you are in love, and I will tell you I've been in love, when you are in love, you feel it, right? You can feel it with every fiber of your being. It courses through you. You feel that energy. It is a recognition between two people. It can be felt physiologically. It is a deeper recognition of something at work. It is a communion. Love is a feeling. And just like romantic love shared between two people, you can feel that same feeling. You can get to that same physiology when you really embody love as the creative spirit within. This energy, this to me is truly being in love. So then it brings me to the song. And a couple of things that come up in the song. So what happens when life interferes? What happens when you hit the wall? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Did I hear somebody say you're going to love it? Absolutely. Love what is and understand that there is something greater, always. Live without fear. Live with no regret. I love this lyric, by the way, and it moves me emotionally. Because I desire this someday. I raised a child from birth, showed her what life is worth, and I have love. That's what love is all about. You feel it? Can you feel it? And then I go to Elton John just to break the moment. Can you feel the love tonight? Now, what's really interesting is that the very first lyric of this song is the entire basis of love. Life's so busy filling in the time. How many of you feel that way? Life's so busy filling in the time. Are we passengers? Are we passengers? or piloting our own minds, coming and going? Are we truly knowing that you and I are all intertwined? We are all intertwined. That's love. That's the divine. That is God. And that's all I have to say today. Namaste. Wow. I give great thanks to each and every person who is here. I also give great thanks for what you offer. This is the time where we do our collection of our offering. This center is growing by leaps and bounds every single day, and it is by means of your consciousness, by means of what you bring to the table. And you all approach this center with love. And I am so grateful to you for what you have to offer. So whatever it is that you are giving today as the basket goes around, we are going to get up and sing. By the way, this is the new song, which is on the cover of your songbook, which was clipped on probably, called I Love. Whatever it is, bless it, honor it, know that it is part of this divine energy of love, and that this love circulates through this center by means of this physical thing we call money. And it helps this center expand and grow, and it helps us take this message to a deeper level and into our community where we can do great things within our community. So I give great thanks for what you have to offer today. And again, as I always remind everyone, please give from the heart, not out of a feeling of obligation. Because that energy, I don't want you to feel like you're obliged to give. It's about what love is coming through. So let's share the perfect song, I Love, the lyrics of which are on your songbook.
I live, I breathe, I give, I receive, I laugh, I love, I'm a part of what's here, what has been, what's still to be seen. I live, I breathe, I love, love, love. I live, I breathe, I love. I live, I breathe, I give, I receive, I laugh, I love. I'm a part of what's here, what has been, what's still to be seen. I live, I breathe, I love, love, love. I live, I breathe, I love. I live, I breathe, I love.
So I will invite Helen Dino Brega to do a blessing over our offering today. Oh, he's still collecting. All right. All right, another chorus.
As we join together for your generosity. Beautiful spirits. I speak these words for everyone here when I say, there is one source. It flows through everything, everyone, every situation. And in this moment, I feel so grateful for the love that's circulating right now. Our most priceless treasure is every person here today. Every beautiful divine being, our minister, everyone who put love into this particular moment. And the deepest of gratitude, I'm thankful for all the gifts that we receive every single day. And they multiply abundantly. As always, we grow, we give, we receive. We're in this beautiful abundance and opulence together. And so with a wish and a prayer and a knowing that this will spread not only in our city but throughout the world, this glorious abundance is for everyone to share. I let go, I let God, and together we say,
And so it is. Thank you very much. And in that spirit of gratitude, I do want to say thank you to Helen Dino Brega for being our practitioner on duty today, for your meditation, your wonderful treatment work. Thank you so much. I do want to let everyone know that the lovely women that I brought up here are, well, except for you, you're just waiting to do your panel, right? They're in the process of licensing to become licensed practitioners of this philosophy. And one of the things that they are required to do is to do spiritual mind treatment work with clients, with people who are needing assistance in their lives. If there's something that's going on for you, I would encourage you to make an appointment with one of them so that they can get more practice at being a practitioner. And they will perhaps ask you to write something out for them, and it would be very helpful to them. So I encourage you to take note of that. Also, while they're in their internship, they can't charge. So you can get spiritual mind treatment work for free, basically. Once they get licensed, though, that changes. I just want to let everybody know. I do also want to thank Scott and Judy for setting up today, Helen Valo and Margaret Ann, who are our greeters today. Lena, thank you so much for your fantastic reading today. In the bookstore today is Nick. Our board members today, Susan and Jim. And in the sound booth, of course, Brian. And Brian is teaching Nick, who's in the bookstore today, who's going to ultimately be helping fill in up there.
So we could use another warm body in the
yeah,
bookstore?
So we could use another warm body in the bookstore too, and we'll be able to rotate people in and out. It'll be perfect, absolutely perfect. I want to thank Lucy for cleaning. I thank you every week because you know what? The place has to get cleaned, and I might be willing to do it, but I've got a lot of other things that I focus on too. But if you know what, you should call me sometime because I will come in and I will clean this place too. Hopefully better than I. You think I'm joking, don't you? You think I'm joking. I'm not joking. I have pictures of my mentor, Reverend James Mellon, taking out the garbage. And it was a great lesson for me to remember that this center is my responsibility in every aspect. So I am happy to come in and help you clean. And I will not forget that. I do want to thank Tony and Linda today for helping out with the webcast and making sure that this message gets spread into cyberspace as well. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank the band. Pierre, thank you so much for that fantastic song. So perfect. And thanks to Rudy and Patrick and Tanis and Brian, because Brian does double duty playing the bass at the soundboard. I couldn't do that. Of course, I don't play bass, so I wouldn't ever try. Is there anyone I'm forgetting? Please tell me if I'm forgetting somebody. I said the greeters. I did.
Your fabulous self.
Well, thank you. So, not to let the talk go, because I can't let the talk go. One thing I'm going to encourage you all this week, you know, the heart is a symbol of love. We've determined that that's a symbol of love in our society. I have this beautiful heartstone that says love on it, which I keep close to me frequently. This week, just take note of where you see heart shapes in nature. Just as something to keep in mind this week. I saw a lot when I was coming in today. So that's it. I'm going to invite you, I'm going to get a glass of water. And I'm going to invite you to take a moment to focus on what you've heard today. And keep in mind that what you've heard today is a message, not the message. And really come to an understanding of how it resonates with you. How does it resonate with your soul? How does it resonate with this thing called love, this energy that is flowing through you? How does it resonate? Do you know it to be true? If there's any falseness within it, take a look at that. And understand that it is your mind, that it is you who comes to a deeper understanding and a deeper idea and a deeper embodiment of the truth which is right for you. Now that I know the truth, I can't go back to what I used to do. I can't pretend or ignore or go back to what I believed before. I can't live without your love. I can't live without your light. I can't live without your message. I can't live without your warmth. I can't live without your wisdom. I can't live without your message. And the message I hear today is clear. I come to a deeper recognition and understanding of the one divine presence, the one energy, this one thing that is going on through all of space and time. It is love. And this perfect creative force is who and what each and every one of us is. And so with this understanding, I move about my life with a deeper embodiment of this idea, with a deeper embodiment of love being at the forefront, seeing God in the faces of every single person I encounter. This is who and what I am. This is what I stand for, and this is what I let transpire in my life. And I trust and I know that every single person here does the same in their own unique, individualized way. That this is the approach with which we all experience life. For life is love. Love is peace. Love is harmony and wisdom and beauty and joy. Love is. And I simply give over to this with a grateful heart, knowing that it is done. This word spoken is complete and shows up in my experience. It shows up in the experience of every single one here. And I simply let this go as I release this word to law. I let it be so. And together we say, and so it is. Now that I know I'm God, I can't hide behind this old facade. I can't lie to myself or pretend I'm not perfect health. I can't live without your love. I can't live without your light.
can't live without your message. I can't live without your warmth. I can't live without your wisdom. I can't live without your message. I can't live without your message. Now that I know the truth, I can't go back to what I used to do. And so it is. And so I invite you all to stand, take this energy, and let's kick it out into the street with a perfect ending to a perfect day. Put a little love in your heart, which is number
9.
Number 9 in your books.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see, wait and see. Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide kindness will be your guide, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Oh, put a little love in your heart. Oh, put a little love in your heart. I still put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
Have a great week, everyone.